Good morning, dear students. We are learning in the topic solutions. The last class we see what is solution and what is solvent and what is solute. We learn the three concepts. What is solution, what is solvent and what is solute. And also we have learned the concept of concentration of solutions. In that, diluted solutions and concentrated solutions are present. Okay, you all learned that three topics and the concentration of the solution too. Okay, now we have to start our new topic. Okay, you can see these all things. Okay, now you can see the two glasses which is filled with water, and in two plates, one is sugar and one is common salt. Okay, now let's start doing an experiment. The first thing, in one of the glass, I am adding the salt. I am adding 2 tablespoons of common salt to this one and stirring very well. What can you observe from this one? The salt dissolving in water. Okay. Yes. Salt completely dissolved in water. Okay, now we have to add one more tablespoon of salt to this one and stirring very well. What can you observe? The salt not completely dissolving this one. Stirring very well. Yeah. Some of the salt crystals are not dissolving in water. Okay. Now, let's take another glass which is filled with water and adding in the sugar to this glass. Adding 2 tablespoons of sugar to this one and stir it very well. I am adding one more tablespoon of sugar to this one and stirring very well. Okay. Ready. Can you observe this? The sugar crystals are not completely dissolving this water. Okay. This one, the salt not completely dissolving, and also in this sugar not completely dissolved. From this, what can we conclude? From this experiment, we can conclude that no more salt can dissolving in this solution. The maximum amount of the salt dissolved in this water. Okay. Then what we can say? This is a saturated solution of salt. Okay. From this we can conclude that the salt solution and the sugars are the both of them are saturated. Did you hear this word? Saturated. What is saturated solution means? Okay. then we can tell that this is a saturated solution. And what is saturated solution means? The saturated solution means the solution which can dissolve. The solution which can dissolve the maximum amount of the solute at a given temperature is known as saturated solution. Okay. Then what we can say the solution before saturated? The solution before saturated is known as unsaturated solution. In unsaturated solution, we can dissolve more salt. Finally, up to the solution becomes saturated. Okay, in unsaturated solution, we can dissolve the salt up to the solution becomes saturated. Okay, now we learned the two concepts, saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Okay, we learned the two concepts. Saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Okay, last class we learned about the concentration of solutions. Okay, now we have to learn how to express the concentration of the solution. There are many scales that can express the concentration of the solutions. Some of them are the mass percentage, volume percentage, molarity and normality. From these all scales we can express the concentration of the solution. We can see one by one. The first method is mass percentage method. In mass percentage method, the amount of the solute that presenting in a solution, the amount of the solute that presented in a solution can be measured using mass percentage method. Okay, now we can see how to calculate the mass percentage. The first method is the mass percentage method. The mass percentage method, the equation is the mass of the solute divided by mass of solution into 100. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution into 100. From this we get the mass percentage of the solution. Okay, the amount of the solute that is presenting in 100 grams of the solution. We obtain the concentration of the solution by using in the mass percentage equation. The next scale that is used for the expression of concentration is parts per million. Parts per million or ppm. This parts per million is used to express the very small amount of the solute. If the solution containing very small amount of the solute, then we can use this scale to measure the amount of solute in that solution. Okay. Now we have to discuss the next scale, that is molarity and molality. Molarity and molality. There is a spelling difference. Molarity. One is molarity, A-R-I-T-Y. One is molality, M-O-L-A-L-I-T-Y. Okay. These two scales, molarity and molality, these two are used to measure the concentration of the solution. In the case of molarity, in this, the moles per the solute which contains the number of moles of the solute molarity and molality. These two concepts are used to measure the concentration of the solution. In the case of molarity, which is represented by capital M, which is represented by capital M. In this, the number of moles of the solute molecule presented in 1 liter of a solution. That is measuring. In the case of molarity, the number of moles of the solute molecule presenting in 1 liter of the solution. In the case of molarity, molarity is representing by small letter m. Molarity is represented by small letter m. In this molarity, the number of moles of the solute presenting in kilogram of the solvent is measuring. The number of moles of the solute presenting in 1 kilogram of the solvent. Okay. Now, we learned about 3 scales that is used to express the concentration of the solution. One is mass percentage method, one is parts per million or ppm, then molarity and molality. There are many other scales like volume, percentage, normality. These all are used to express the concentration of the solution. So, we learned about the saturated solution, unsaturated solution, and how to calculate the concentration of the solution. From the last experiment of the salt and sugar, we learned the saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Now we have to learn about solubility. Okay, what is solubility? You may heard about the solubility concepts. Solubility, it refers to that the amount of solute in grams that required to convert the 100 grams of the solvent into a solution at a given temperature. This is known as the solubility of a substance. The solubility of a solution is the amount of solute. The amount of solute. The what amount of solute we are taking to make a solution become saturated. The amount. If we are taking, in the first experiment, we are taking almost 3.5 tablespoon of sugar or salt, which is used to make the solution saturated. Okay, that amount of the solute in grams that required to convert the 100 grams of the solvent into a saturated solution at a given temperature. That is known as solubility. Okay, today we learned about 3 concepts: saturated solution, unsaturated solution, and the solubility, and also how to express the concentration of the solution by using these 4 scales. One is mass percentage scale, one is parts per million scale, then molarity and molality. I hope you all understood the 3 concepts. Okay. Thank you.